Going everyone? So I'm back. There's a good reason for why I've been gone. I've been sick. I've been dealing with a bunch of life stuff in general, and just overall waiting for parts to show up finally. And they did a couple days ago, but I was still getting over my throat, being coughing and being sick. Besides the point. Our new parts came in for the sunroof. So I have here a brand new brass gear that is going to go in our sunroof. Drive motor assembly and linkage arms and everything. It's easier to show. I'm not really familiar with the technical term of what the little area that the housing sits in is called, but the sunroof gear assembly is what I'm going to call it going forward. So yeah, that's enough talking about it. Let's just go ahead and get right into the repair. All right, guys, so we're in the back of the car here. Let me clear my throat. Sorry about that. So this is what it looks like right now. Now, for some of you who have done this before, you have these cars, you're like, oh my God, the whole vinyl piece is missing. Yes, it is missing. Well, not really. I have it tucked currently back in here, but yes, I did cut this piece out. My reasoning for this, and this is where Clark's Garage and me kind of get into a fist fight. There's no other way to do this. There is legitimately no way to do this repair without cutting the vinyl. I have seen people talk about how they did it. I've tried to understand, but to me, my vinyl piece was covering this entire thing here. There was no way I could gain access to it without cutting it or removing basically the entire rear assembly and everything. This is vinyl. This is not a solid piece. The tubing and everything here, it just runs right here to here, and the gear is right there. So if you're gonna do this, it's super simple, honestly, and Clark's Garage overcomplicates it. Cut a small slit out right here, right? And there's another panel that covers this, so you can't even see these when you've got the whole thing assembled. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your new brass gear or your replacement plastic one if you go with plastic route. You wanna put your washer that came off the old one, the little metal washer, you wanna take it, put it on this, and just pop it in there. That's it. From there, you'll take the guiding arm assembly and you'll stick it in like so. Now, depending on where the motor and the gear have stopped recently, I'm going to go ahead and pull this vinyl back out. We'll determine whether or not where you should put it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it right here for the time being. And I should actually tuck this further up, that way it doesn't hit it. I'm going to stick it right there for now. That assembly right here is it. From there, you will take your little plastic cover that comes off of it, stick it on, you get your screws back, get them started, like so. And I'm not going to tighten them all the way up because I'm going to do a few testing cycles with it. Make sure this works properly and everything seems to be in running order before I seal this entire section back up. Now, the issue with me, guys, is that I do have this piece that covers this entire area, but it is in need of repair. When I took it down, it folded in half. The cardboard backing just gave out on it. So I'm gonna have to repair it before I can get it back up. But honestly, as long as you don't look back here, you really don't even notice it. Make sure it's sealed. Yep. There's that one. Now you take and do exactly what I just did on this side, and you will do it on the other side. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that done, and I will come back to you when it's all complete. Okay, so I've got both sides reinstalled now. Now, once you have both sides reinstalled, remember, the way this system operates is it operates in two different modes. With the ignition on with accessory power only, it allows you to raise and lower the retracting arms. That way you can remove the sunroof. With the engine running, you can only put it up into vent mode, which is when the sunroof just comes up like this. You cannot retract the arms to remove the sunroof while driving. It's pretty ingenious. So, with the engine off, start your car, test the lifting arms, test the repair that you just did, and make sure they both work. If they both work and extend all the way up and are at the same height, then you've done the repair and you're good to go. Slap everything back together and be on your merry way. If you raise both arms or lower both arms and they do not come to the same plane, you need to open them back up and adjust them. The best way I can tell you to do this is to count the individual teeth on the lifting arm, and both sides go down to that exact same level out the top of the gear. So that way you're pretty much in line. So we'll go ahead and start the car, and then we'll test them and see if I did it right. All right, guys, so we've got them installed. I'm gonna set this back. I hope you can still see. Yeah, you can still see pretty good. All right, so like I said, once you have both of them installed, like so, what you want to do is turn the power to accessory only, right? So I currently have this key on. You then want to push the limit switch on the inside of the car in the middle center. So I'm going to push it in, and you want to test both up and down function. So we're going to test up first. Boom. That is all the way up. Then what we're going to do is we're going to test all the way back down. Like so. Now remember that when the car is running, they can only be lifted up. They cannot be put down all the way. That is to prevent you from being able to push the roof off while driving. So now what we're going to do is that we know both of these work, and I've run the test a few times before I started hitting record. Yes, I'm a cheater. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the roof back in, and we'll see how it does with actual weight on it now instead. All right, guys. Now with the panel reinstalled, we're going to clip it in like so. From here, what we're going to do is the same test. Now with the weight of the sunroof on it, we are going to test whether it can go all the way up and all the way down. With accessory mode back on, we'll go ahead and start with up. That is up, and we'll start with down. The panel could be removed, yes. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start the car and go from there. I am not sure how well you guys can still hear me, but we are now going to try to attempt to lock the sunroof. So we are going to push it up and then bring it back down. And the sunroof is now locked in place. That is it. That's all you have to do. So now let's pause the video and go back to the workbench and talk about what we just did. All right, guys, so that's going to be the end of the video. So in this video today, what we did is we walked through how to do the sunroof gear repair on a 924S. Now, mind you, depending on your model year, things may be laid out differently. Things may have been put in differently. You may not have the exact same components that I do. For this model year, it really relies a lot on the 944's sunroof, motor, and gear switch assembly and limit switches and everything else. So basically, the electronic system for the 924S is almost the exact same as the 944. Now take that as a grain of salt, because not all these cars are the exact same. Some of them have weird quirks, some have electrical faults. You may have issues with your switches. You may have issues with your micro switch, which is the sunroof switch that sits in the middle area up here. You may have a burnt out motor. Your worm gear that runs the length from the back trunk area all the way up into the top portion of the vehicle may be damaged. There's a bunch of different problems that can be caused by the sunroof. Not going to get into all of them here. What we did today is show you how to replace your sunroof gears and set the correct height level on them, and then test it, function test it, and then it's ready to go back on the road. So with all that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me, what repair do you need to see next on your 924 or 944?